Okay, we looking at Genesis 27 and verse 41. Genesis 27 and 41. Because, Ezekiel 35 and 5 says, because they have a perpetual hatred. That's where it comes from. Genesis 27 and 41. This is after our forefather Isaac had died. That's what Esau said. It's a vow he made. And Esau hated Jacob, Genesis 27:41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, he said in his mind, it's that vow that he made. The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. See? Said, then will I kill my brother Jacob. Because of the blessing. We were blessed with everlasting life. Esau was blessed to live by the sword and the fatness of the earth. So, this is what you're looking at. Going back to 2nd Esdras 6. Verse 19 one more time. And will begin to make inquisition of them what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness. Now, this is concerning Esau. Once salvation is coming to the children of Israel, 12 tribes of Israel, this is what he's going to say. Wisdom of Solomon, 5 and 7. Salakia. Pages don't even turn right anymore. Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness. This is what Esau gonna be saying. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. See? Yeah, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Most High, we have not known it. Straight up. That's when salvation is coming to Israel. Gonna be amazed at the strangers of his salvation. 2nd Esdras 6 and 20. And when the world that shall begin to vanish away, you see this world is vanishing away, shall be finished, this world gonna be finished, then will I show thee tokens. The book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. See that? The books shall be opened before the firmament. Because, understand this, the books, there are books that are being written of everything that we do. I can tell you in Revelation 20:12, and I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High, and the books were open. See, and another book was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works, according to things you've done in these mortal bodies. Same thing as we see in here. 2nd Esdras 6 and 21. And the children of a year old shall speak, hear that, with their voices. So children of 1 year old gonna speak with their voices. The women with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months. 3 or 4 months. She gonna carry up 3 or 4 months. She gonna have what we call premature babies, and they shall live. They gonna live and be raised up. Be raised up. Now the Most High's word gonna happen. How he's gonna have it happen? He gonna make sure the technology is here for the babies to be in the mother's womb for 3 or 4 months, come out and still live. And suddenly shall the sown places appear sown. Suddenly shall the farmers' crops be unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. The full stores Going to your Walmarts and all these other places, stores of convenience, to get whatever you want, going to be found empty. It's coming. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. You hear that trumpet sound, that siren that they sent out? They shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. Hear that? The Spirit of the Most High gonna put on this earth. Say friends gonna fight one against another like enemies. That's why I tell you about that. You gotta be very aware. Woo. Say friends gonna fight like they enemies. Look at Micah 7:5. Say, trust ye not in a friend. Put ye not confidence in a guide. Somebody's trying to lead you. But stay in righteousness. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. Meaning, men, you're supposed to be telling everything to your woman. And women should want to know everything that the man has to bring forth. He said, keep the doors of thy mouth. That's whatever you got to say. From her that lieth in thy bosom. That's what he's telling you. So, as he's telling the men not to tell the woman everything that's going on in life. Period. Some things are going to be for men and men that women don't even know about. For the son dishonoreth the father, the daughter rises up against her mother, the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house. Look, no different than what? Go to Matthew 10:35. Matthew 10:35. See what the Mashiach h.o.i tell you. Since y'all believe, some of you believe him, don't know him. He said, for I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes, which is enemies, just like we just read, shall be they of his own household. Hear what he said? A man's enemies shall be they of his own household. He come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. That's because we're going to be in this truth, following righteousness, and you got those going to be goats following the way of the world. Whose world? Esau is the end of the world. His world. To be goats, to go down right with the goats. It's the whole thing is you don't allow nobody to take you off your path to everlasting life. Or you're going to go down with them. He said, a man's foes, a man's enemies shall be they of his own household, your own family, your own nation. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. If they're going to take you off your path to eternal life. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. You love your children more than him, so you ain't worthy of him. And he that taketh not his cross, you don't take this affliction you got to go through, as it says, affliction that we just read about, and follow after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. That's what this is all about. It's a sacrifice. Our bodies got to be made a living sacrifice, which is a reasonable service, Most High said, for you to do this. It's not something that you're supposed to be grudgingly doing, or don't do it. Go and be thrown in the lake of fire and have your good time now. Like some people have their good time. They gone, poof, or gonna be gone. Finish. Going back to 2 Esdras 6th chapter. Verse 24. At that time shall friends fight one against another, like enemies. And the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world. You hear that? Remember what it said in verse 9? For Esau is the end of the world. And whoever remaineth going to see the end of your world, of their world. And the men that are received shall see it, who have not tasted death from their birth. Now, you know it's going to be men that's going to be here on this earth that have not tasted death from their birth. That's why you look at 1 Thessalonians 4:16, when the Mashiach Shai comes. 1 Thessalonians 4:16. It's going to be men that's never going to taste of death from their birth. 1 Thessalonians 4:16. For the Most High, h.o.i himself shall ascend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, Michael, and with the trump of the Most High. And the dead, by Shabbat h.o.i shall rise first. Right? Those that are in Mashiach Yahushua, in the name of the Lord and Savior, shall rise first. Then we which are alive, just like we just read, and remain, as we just said, whosoever, verse 25 of 2nd Esdras 6th chapter, whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world. See? 1 Thessalonians 4:17. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds, which are the chariots of the Most High, the vehicles of the Most High, to meet Mashiach Yahushua, to the glory of the Most High, in the air. In the air. And so shall we ever be with Mashiach Yahushua. Wherefore comfort one another with these words. That's what it's all about. And be in the judgment and be worthy to make it to the kingdom. Our names being written in the book of life. Second Esdras 6:26. And the men that are received shall see it, who have not tasted death from their birth. That's what we just read about. Those that are alive will be caught up with Mashiach Yahushua in the air. The chariots coming down and taking us up in the air. And the heart or the mind of the inhabitants shall be changed and turned into another meaning. For evil shall be put off. Hear that? For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. That's why he told you. Proverbs 16:4. Evil gonna be put out. And deceit, lies gonna be quenched. Proverbs 16:4. The Most High have made all things for himself. Yeah. Even the wicked for the day of evil. Right? And the word says in Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, if not, where and who is he? So the earth been given to the hand of the wicked. So he's telling you the Most High have made all things for himself. Yeah. Even the wicked for the day of evil. So they're made for the day of evil. When you look at when Alexander came into power, it's in 1 Maccabees 1:1. Look at 1 Maccabees 1:9. This is when the Edomites first came into power, the first power of the Greek Empire. This is what the Most High said. 1 Maccabees 1:9. And after his death, after Alexander the Greek death, first emperor of the Greek Empire, they all put crowns upon themselves. That's his 4 generals. So did their sons after them many years. So after them, their sons reigned. The four general sons reigned after them. What happened? And evils were multiplied in the earth. There it is. So, going back to 2nd Esdras 6, verse 27. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched, right? So, those are liars. I said liars. Talking about liars. Deceit is wow, spirit to me right there. Look, Ecclesiasticus 20 and 24. A liar is a foul blot in a man, that it is a continually in the mouth of the untaught. A thief is better than a man that is accustomed to lie, but they both shall have destruction to heritage. The disposition of a liar is dishonorable, and his shame is ever with him. Look at Revelations 22 and 15. That's why I say it's about changing. You can lie if you want to. Just what you can look forward to. 2nd Esdras 22 and 15. For without the kingdom, are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. Hear that? Whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. You're going to be without the kingdom. Point blank. So that's why we got to look at ourselves. Look at ourselves and change. And make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do. To be acceptable and our names be written in the book of life. That's what this is all about. We as a people, you should be following the righteousness of the Most High so that you have opportunity to see everlasting life. And you're going to have a remnant. Understand, you're going to have a remnant of all the nations. So you got an opportunity to be there too. Doing what you're doing now, working. Not going to be the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service. Going to be Israelite receiving services. That's all. Same name, just change the guard. That's all. Second 6 and 27. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Believe it in the Most High, it's going to flourish. Corruption shall, that's the future, that's prophecy, shall be overcome in the truth, which is what? Psalms 119, 142. That righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. And the truth, which is the laws of the Most High, which has been so long without fruit. Because they're telling you, in all these different religions, you're not under law. You're not dealing with the truth, which is keeping the laws of the Most High, which have been so long without fruit, shall be declared. And we declaring it now, but it's going to be declared on a higher level. When the Mashiach shall come and beat you with a rod of iron. That's that law of the Most High. And when he taketh, and when he talked with me, behold, I looked by little and little upon him before whom I stood. And these words said he unto me, I am come to show thee the time of the night to come. Hear that? The night to come. What is that? Darkness. Look, the night to come. That's what he told Esau. He's dealing with Esau at the end of the world. The night to come. He's showing him the night to come, right? What did he tell Esau? Isaiah 47 and 5. Sit thou silent. Say, be quiet, quiet, and get thee in the darkness. That's the night. Ignorance, not knowing. O daughter of the Chaldeans, but thou shalt no more be called the lady of kingdoms. See? No more be called the lady of kingdoms. Look at Job 15. Go to Job 15. See if that's what I want. Job 15. And 20. Job 15 and 20. The wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of his years is hidden to the oppressor. A dreadful sound is in his ears. In prosperity, the destroyer shall come upon him. In prosperity, living large. No reparations, no restitution for the things they have robbed, to be able to pledge that they have to do, and keeping the commandments of the Most High. We just read that's what they wear themselves, the way of wickedness and destruction. That's the way the Most High, they have not known it. He said, listen, he believeth not that he shall return out of darkness. See that? He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness. This the night. When it's dark, it's night. It's night, it's dark. And he is waited for of the sword. He's waited of the sword. That's coming. He wandereth abroad for bread, saying, where is it? Where's the food? He knoweth that the day of darkness is ready at his hand. Day of darkness is ready at his hand. Day of ignorance is ready at his hand. Because remember, the way of the Most High, the h.o.d.c, he don't know it. He know the way of Satan. Because Satan said, hey, all he showed h.o.d.c, all the kingdoms of the world say, all can be thine if you but bow down and worship me. Trouble and anguish shall make him afraid. They shall prevail against him as a king ready to the battle. That's trouble and anguish. For he stretched out his hand against the Most High and strengthened himself against the Almighty. Strengthened himself against h.o.d.c. He runneth upon him, even on his neck, upon the thick bosses of his bucklers, because he covereth his face with his fatness, and maketh collops of fat on his flanks. And he dwelleth in desolate cities, and in houses which no man inhabiteth, which are ready to become heaps. He shall not be rich, neither shall his substance continue. Let you know, just a certain amount of time that you seeing what you're seeing, it's going to be the way you see it. He shall not be rich. This is it. That's why they got to get all they can get. Neither shall his substance continue. Neither shall he prolong the perfection thereof upon the earth. Last verse. He shall not depart out of darkness. Hear that? He shall not depart out of darkness. What the Most High told him in Isaiah 47:5, sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the lady of kingdoms. Listen what he said. Job 15-30. He shall not depart out of darkness. The flame shall dry up his branches, and by the breath of his mouth shall he go away. Hear that? The breath of his mouth shall he go away. That's serious. This is real. Revelation 19. Mashiach he come to judge and make war. Revelation 19 and 15. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword. Same sword we've been reading about in Job. That with it he should kill the nations. Smite the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. What you think that rod of iron is? The laws of the Most High. And he treaded the winepress of the fiercest and wrath of almighty power. The fiercest and the wrath of almighty power. The winepress is defined in Isaiah the 63rd chapter, the one down. This is what we're looking at. So he said, hey, this that night, which is dark, which is darkness. So once he told Esau to get into darkness, what did he do to the people? Most of you don't know, because you're not interested in knowing the deep mysteries of the Most High and the h.o.d.c. But what did he do to the people? Once he told them to get into darkness, what happened to the people? Isaiah 60 and 2. For behold, Isaiah 60th chapter, the second verse. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth. As he just told them. He told them to get at thee in the darkness. So darkness shall cover the earth, as it is now, ignorance. You have somebody in the Bible and say, talk about this. Show me what the Bible says about this. Show me what the Bible says about that. It's a book of life. Basically, the instruction before leaving earth. Like I said, whether we leaving earth, you die, or you go up in them chariots that we just read about in the air. We say, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth. And what? And gross darkness, gross ignorance, the people. But, it's a condition, the Most High shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. By knowing these precepts, knowing the book of life, knowing what we got to do to make it to the kingdom. That our names can be written in the book of life. It's real. Going back to 2 Esdras, 6th chapter, verse 30. And these words said he unto me, I am come to show thee the time of the night to come. The night to come. Let's understand this. Go to John, the 1st chapter. Because what's the opposite of darkness? Light. So h.o.d.c said this in John, the 1st chapter, 4th verse. In him, h.o.d.c was life, and the life was the light of men. The light of men. Right? In him was the light of men. So what's the light? Proverbs 6:23. So you can understand to the precept, but if you don't know, then how you gonna understand what he's talking about? It's light. I mean, light of men. You make up your own way. No, the Bible gonna answer itself. Proverbs 6:23. What is this light? For the commandment is a lamp, and the lamp brings forth light. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light. You see that? So all you just say we ain't under the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. So the law gives you the way of life, the Most High's laws. So now, looking at it, it says, St. John 1 and 4, in him was life, and the life was the light of men. You see? In him was life. That's why he told us in St. John 14 and 6, I mean, once you understand this, it's easy. It's simplicity of a Mashiach Yahushai. St. John 14, 6. Mashiach Yahushai said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Right? I'm the way to show you how to follow the law, which is the truth, to lead to everlasting life. No man come up to the Father but by me. So now, when you go back to see what he's saying here in verse 4, in him was life, and the life was the light of men. In him was life. So if you follow the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, he's showing you the way to follow the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. It's going to lead to everlasting life. And the life is in him because he's showing you the way to follow the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. He was an example that it can be done. He's the one that gave it to us through the power of the Most High. And the light shineth in darkness. Hear that? The light shineth in darkness. So keeping the laws of the Most High is shining in darkness. What rulership was he in? The Roman Empire. He's saying the light, as he is the light, shineth in darkness. So anyone try to keep the laws of the Most High, you're doing it in the darkness that the Most High told Esau to get into. Get thee in the darkness. He told him, get thee in ignorance. We just read in Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7, we rid ourselves of the way of wickedness and destruction. We've gone to deserts where there lay no way. As for the way of the Most High, the Mashiach, we have not known it. That's what it's saying. So it said, and the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended not. See? The people in darkness not going to comprehend this because they are part of their understanding. They're goats, like I said. The sheep on the right hand, he gonna bring into everlasting life. The goats in that mindset gonna be cast to the lake of fire. Because they're in darkness. Remember, he put the people in gross ignorance, gross darkness. That's the night that it's talking about. There was a man sent from the Most High whose name was John. This is John the Baptist, Mashiach's cousin. The same came for a witness, to bear witness of the light. To bear witness of Mashiach Yahushua, which is the light to show us how to shine bright, be illuminated by keeping the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. Point blank. That all men through him might believe. He was not that light. John the Baptist was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light of Mashiach Yahushua, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world of Israel. So going back to 2 Esdras 6, verse 30. And these words said he unto me, I am come to show thee the time of the night to come. Now, Mashiach, when he said, hey, when he was here in the Roman Empire, so-called white man's, so-called Italian Caucasians, to be precise, empire, it was night. It was darkness at the time he came on the earth. That's why he said in, go to Matthew 11 and 12. Now we know, because a lot of people, when you look at the Bible, you look at the New Testament, you don't even realize the so-called white man is the one that killed Mashiach Yahushua. Nobody's bringing that out. They the ones put him on a tree, hung him on a tree. Wicked Israelites gave him to him, but they the ones killed him. Listen, Matthew 11 and 12. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven, which we are the kingdom of heaven, the 12 tribes of Israel, suffereth violence. Hear that? He said, from the days of John the Baptist, we just read about, until now, this time that he's speaking, the kingdom of heaven, which we are the kingdom of heaven, the children of Israel, suffereth violence, right? We're suffering violence. Listen to what he say. And the violent, that's the Edomites, take it by force. See? The violent take it by force. He called them the violent. Right there. So, don't get it twisted. And also, you wanted to see more? Because a lot of you think that he was just love. He was all love. No. Go to Luke 21 and 20. And when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies. What armies you think he's talking about? He's talking about the Roman armies, the so-called white man's armies, the so-called Italian Caucasians' armies, the same ones that killed him, put him to death. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, that's the truth. Then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Know that the time that you're going to fall is near. This from 65 AD to 70 AD, the last dance on Mount Masada. They took us down. They came and invaded Jerusalem about 67, 68. By 70 AD, it was finished. That's what he's saying. Who was it? The Roman armies. Been there, seen that mount that they made up to Mount Sada. And when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh, right? Say, then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. That's when we fled into Africa. Because you can walk from Israel into Africa, Egypt and so forth. And let them which are in the midst of it depart out. And let not them that are in the countries enter therein. For these be the days of vengeance. Maybe say the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. These be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Prophecy, that's written in the Old Testament should be fulfilled. See? And so go to Luke 19 and 20, 43 and 44. For the day shall come upon thee. He's warning us that thine enemies. Now, he said the violent, now he's calling them the enemies. Who? The so-called white man. That thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee and compass thee about, round about. He's telling you. Remember he said, and when you see the city compassed with armies, now he's telling them, calling the armies the enemies. For the day shall come upon thee that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee and compass thee round and keep thee in on every side, and shall lay thee even with the ground. That means flatline you, kill you, and thy children within thee. Kill the children too, and they shall not leave in thee one stone upon another, because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation. That's why he told them to run into Africa. When you see them coming, flee into Africa. He told us that. Some didn't. So what happened to ones didn't? Luke 21:24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword. It just say flatline them. You say you're going to lay on the ground? And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, which are the enemies, he just said, which are the violent that he just said. Going to be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. It's about that time now. Going back to 2 Esdras 6. Verse 31. If thou wilt pray yet more, and fast 7 days again, I shall tell thee greater things by day than I have heard. For thy voice is heard before the Most High, for the mighty hath seen thy righteous dealings. He hath seen also thy chastity, which thou hast had ever since thy youth. And therefore have he sent me to show thee all these things, and to say unto thee, be of good comfort, and fear not. Most High always sent an angel, a spirit to deal with us. He's the spirit of the Most High, the angel of the Most High. And hasten not with the times that are past. So don't be concerned about the past. To think vain things, to think, things that have no merit, that's worthless, that thou mayest not hasten from the latter times. You got to think about the last days, as we're in now. And it came to pass after this that I wept again. He was crying, mourning, weeping, and fasted 7 days in like manner, that I might fulfill the 3 weeks which he told me. In the 8th night was my heart, my mind vexed within me again, and I began to speak before the Most High. For my spirit was greatly set on fire, and my soul was in distress. And I said, O Most High, thou spakest from the beginning of the creation, even the first day, and said thus, let heaven and earth be made, and thy word was a perfect work. And thy word was a perfect work. Look, thy word was a perfect work. He spake, right? So like I said, the Spirit must have a voice, and from a voice come words, right? Look at John 1:1. St. John 1:1. Roll with me. Roll with the Spirit of the Most High, as he's bringing it forth. In the beginning, we went to the beginning, Genesis 1:1. In the beginning was the Word, which is beginning in 2 Esdras 6:1 down. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the Most High, and the Word was h.o.i. So from a voice comes words, and the voice of the Most High is the Word of the Most High, which is h.o.i. The same was in the beginning with the Most High. All things were made by him, as we read in Ephesians 3:9. And without him was not anything made that was made. See? So, and also it tells you, go to, reminds us again in Revelations 19. That's why I say, you have to look at this and go throughout this whole Bible to understand by the time you get to reading these books to say, okay, well, what is that talking about? You got to know. Look, Revelation 19 and 13. And he was clothed, Mashiach Yahushua was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. That's why I told you to read Isaiah the 63rd chapter. You'll find out whose blood is talking about. Edomites. Because they're the end of the world. He got to bring judgment to them. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. And his name is called the Word of the Most High. There it is. So now, going back to 2 Esdras 6. Verse 38. And I said, O Most High, thou speakest from the beginning of the creation, which is Genesis 1 and 1 down. 2 Esdras 6 and 1 down. Even the first day, and said thus, let heaven and earth be made, and thy word was a perfect work. See? Mashiach Yahushua bringing forth what the Most High told him to do. It was a perfect work. That's why I say the Most High said. So when he said, there was a voice that came from the Most High, and the word of the Most High that came from the voice created everything. Verse 39, and then was the Spirit. And darkness and silence were on every side. The sound of man's voice was not yet formed. But then was the Spirit that we read about in Genesis 1st chapter, 2nd verse. It identified it. That's what Mashiach Yahushua as the angel of the Most High. Creating everything that the Most High told him to create. I mean, it's not hard. He tells us this. That's why I said when you look at understanding spiritual things, it's just not hard. But if you're not, the simplicity of a Mashiach Yahushua. Look at St. John 5 and 19. Maybe you'll believe what the Mashiach Yahushua said. Then answered the Mashiach Yahushua and said unto them, verily, verily, truly, truly, I say unto you, the Son can do nothing of himself. He can do nothing of himself, but what he seeth the Father do. So what the Most High is doing everything, but he's doing whatever the Father do. For what things soever he doeth, these also doeth the Son likewise. Okay? We just talking about doing. Now you're going to talk about his words. He told you in St. John 14. The words that he spoke. He's the word of the Most High, so therefore, he let you know. St. John 14. And 10. Believest thou not that I am in the Father, and the Father in me? The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself. But the Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. See? Believe me that I am in the Father, and the Father in me, or else believe me for the very work's sake. Let you know. The words that he speaks is not his own words, but the words of the Father, because he is the word of the Most High. So now, going back to 2 Esdras 6. Verse 36. And in the 8th night was my heart vexed within me again, and I began to speak before the Most High, for that my spirit was greatly set on fire, and my soul was in distress. And